this is definitely for you, because what I have done is I have asked a couple questions in my Facebook group before you can enter this passive income with Facebook with content. And I say, well, what are you struggling with? And what do you need help with? And that's how I kind of structure these presentations. So please go ahead and commit to investing the next hour or so of your time with me and for you, and really dial in here, because you're going to want to pay attention to everything that we talk about here today. All right. So Rebecca says she is dialing in. Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And just so you know, I am your presenter today. My name is Debbie Drum. I am a part-time multiple six-figure lifestyle entrepreneur. And I'm also a part-time amateur pickleball player. That is me on the left, hitting the ball like crazy and ultimately winning the point there. And I have a ton of fun every day doing both of these things. And I don't say this to brag. I just say this to let you know that this is a workshop that we're going to do to talk about how I exactly do this and have all this free time, but still make a passive income as a part-time lifestyle entrepreneur. And also, just so you know, anytime you see this crazy character on the top here, that's also me as well. That's my Bitmoji. I think that she's way cooler than I am. All right. So question for you is, how would you like to see a guaranteed way to make more passive income, get people to open your emails, become a go-to person in your niche, and get more clients? The answer is yes. Okay, I'm seeing a ton of yeses come in, some ones. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, perfect. Thanks everyone who responded. Thanks, Jean, Kester. What is this? How much and when can I start? Says Anthony. We will definitely get there. So this all sounds great, right? But I'm sure that your question is how, right? Because it might seem like a big giant boulder on your shoulders, right? Oh, I want to do all this stuff, make more passive income, get people to open my emails, be the go-to person and get more clients. But how is this actually obtained? And there's one word really on how to do this, and that is authority. But how do you get authority, and how do you get it very quickly? Well, you get authority by presenting expertise. You be the one who is spot on to help someone when it comes to the problems people are having in your niche. And I see this all the time, and it happens very, very quickly. You don't really need to do a lot of work, but you can establish this in all types of platforms like webinars and TikToks, and being an author, selling on Amazon, having a podcast, having stories on Instagram and Facebook, and a blog and Instagram and Etsy and email marketing, video marketing, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. All this stuff, there's more channels of distribution, and the more that you market, the more that you will be found, and people will find you and notice that you're this person of authority that they should probably be listening to. So really, what's the benefit of having authority? Well, you increases your value, right? You can literally charge higher prices when someone sees you as the authority figure. You build instant trust. You increase, if you say and do the right things, right? You then will increase your email open rate because people who will start to know who you are and they want to read what you have to say. You'll become memorable. You'll increase engagement. Not only will people interact with you, but also that social engagement that's very hard to buy. People try to buy that all the time, but it's hard to do. It's hard to fake the funk. Clients will get better results. You'll increase your customer satisfaction, right? Because they'll just be interacting with you more. You'll increase retention. You increase referrals. You increase your clients. You increase your income. You can increase product sales and affiliate sales and speaking engagements. Will people look to you first for solutions? You'll stand out. You'll become bingeable, right? You'll be a mega branding tool and you'll be known forever. And this authority can happen rather quickly. And I know that I kind of rattled off this whole list here, and I know which ones are my favorite, but let's say you can just have 2 things from this list. What would your top 2 things be? While you're typing that in the questions box, I'll share with you mine. I like the makes you memorable, because in this crazy world of so many people trying to, compete for the spotlight, compete for your inbox, right? Compete for attention. I want somebody to know who I am rather than just pass me by, right? I also like the increased email open rate, because email is a big part of my business, and that's important to me too. Okay, so let me just check on what your feedback is. Let's see. Oh, well, let's see. Okay. What is bingeable, Debbie? Bingeable is like when somebody watches one thing after another, like, like when they say some people binge watch Netflix, they're watching the one show and then they get to the next show and the next show, and before they know it, the series is complete. So that's something that's really good for you if you're the person that's being watched, because that means that somebody is really into you and they want to see more of your stuff. And that's why, having things out there that build your credibility and build your authority, they're just going to want so much more of you. Let's see. Maureen says, people look to me first for solutions. Yes, the go-to person to solve property-related problems. I love it, Alan. Building instant trust. That's so important. Kwesi. Hugh says, increase product and affiliate sales. Oh, yeah. Hazel makes memorable. Email open rate, of course. First for solution, says Rob. Thank you, Joe. Charge higher prices. That's always a good thing, right? Serena, I think that's right. And Edwin says, people look for my solutions. Yes, perfect. So the question is, how, right? How do you do all this stuff in a very short period of time? And I say, keep it simple, okay? There aren't that many complicated things that you need to do to achieve the level of authority to bring you everything that you wanted on that list. So I have found in my last 12 years of doing business online that there's two authority powerhouses for your business when it comes to content and when it comes to creating content rather quickly. Now, how many of you here would prefer to like write instead of being on video? So how many people would rather do just put a write or WRITE or video inside the chat box? Yeah, I mean, you'll hear my story a little bit later, but most people like to write and not prefer not to be on video. And I totally get that, especially if you're just starting out or maybe you just never really, want to do video. But when it comes to writing, there's two avenues and two powerhouses. That's your hybrid books and your one-page short PDFs. This is what we're going to cover today. So just how did this all kind of come about and happen for me? One day, it was back in 2014, I was working for somebody who purchased this book for me, and it was called 100 Proven Split Test Winners by Russell Brunson. If you don't know Russell Brunson, he is the creator of ClickFunnels. And this was even way before ClickFunnels was ever created and established. Russell Brunson has been doing funnels and funnel hacking for a long time. And he was like, I think he even invented the word funnel. And he wrote this book. And when I got this book in my hands, it was a beautiful full cover printed book. And it had so much good information in it. I was interested in split tests, but this book had more of an impact on me when I got it and after I got it, because I noticed, I was like, wow, number one, I was so impressed with the book because nobody else was really doing this at the time. And number two is I started like following what Russell was doing afterwards. I was opening up his emails. He was appearing in my social media and I would comment on his questions and all this stuff. So after I saw how powerful this strategy was on me as a subscriber, I started to create my own physical books for my subscribers, customers, and clients. This is the first one that I created on the top left. It was called CS Fully Loaded. So I kind of wanted to replicate what Russell was doing with his magazine style book, but I published on Amazon, and it was a physical full color book about how to publish full color books, specifically on CreateSpace, which was back then the physical printing arm of Amazon. Now CreateSpace is under the Amazon umbrella of KDP, so which makes it easier because there's one system. And so I created that. And then in 2018, I started getting back into physical books and creating these low content journals and workbooks. And I built this series called the Law of Attraction Journal. And I think there's now 4 books in the series. So after I saw how successful this was monetarily and in other ways in creating authority, I got really excited about it. So like 30,000 from that launch for the CS Fully Loaded, which is the most money I've ever made in a launch thus far. And then 11,000 in 3 months from my Law of Attraction journal series, which wasn't that bad either. Each of these books did not take very long to make. They took me like less than 2 hours to create, which was also a plus as well. And I'm going to demo one of these a little bit later. But so why physical books in this digital world? Well, number one, because very few people are doing it. When we talk about how do you become memorable? Do you think when you actually put something in your customers' hands, they'll remember you? The answer is yes. And so much so that you would think we live in a digital world, everything is PDFs and ebooks. No, 60% of people still prefer print books, which is said year after year, even in the height of when Kindle publishing just started out and it was going crazy, people still prefer physical books. Why? Because they like to write notes in the margins. They like to read in precarious places. They like to mark special pages to go back to. They like to share it with their friends and family. They like to bring it to the pool, to the beach, so that they don't, mess up their electronic devices. This is a big one. I think the nostalgia / emotional tie to a physical book. I'm sure that you can recall when you read a certain book, whether it was a fiction book or a nonfiction book, and you recall the time in your life and what you were going through and even what the book smelled like, right? All these emotions kind of come back to you when you see a certain physical book that you had those memories from. And also, if you've ever gone to like a conference or a live event and somebody gave you a workbook that you took notes in and everything like that, and maybe wrote other people's numbers to remember them and to contact them, these books don't get thrown away. I know I don't throw them away. I can go in my closet right now and find every single workbook I've ever had from a live event. They don't take up too much room. And I like to kind of look through them every so often because, it just brings me back to where I was at that time in my life.
So I see there's some questions here, and we're going to get to all the questions more towards the end. I have a Q&A session. So what I want to reveal to you next is what I call the hybrid book model. But first, let me just tell you a little bit about me and why I'm qualified to talk about all this stuff with you today. So I started my online business in 2010, writing and selling books. I call myself a content marketer, and that's what I became an expert in. I just kind of fell into it. I never wanted to be an author or a writer when I was a kid. It never happened. But I did have a dream because at the time I was doing outside sales and I had to leave my house on a Sunday and I wouldn't be home until Thursday. I was all by myself on the road on trains, planes, and automobiles. I was so unhappy, like this lady here, because I just didn't like it anymore. I was going nowhere fun, like the northeast part of the country, 19-degree weather. And I knew that there were people who were making money by not leaving their home. And I'm like, how the heck are they doing this? So that's how I got started. And the first way I started generating income was from publishing books. And I learned the system where I was publishing one book a week. And at the time, there was no centralized place to publish books. If you wanted to be in different marketplaces like Barnes and Nobles and iBooks and Amazon and CreateSpace and all these places, you had to literally go to each site and publish to each site individually. And they all had those boring forms. You had to sign it, fill them out, and upload your cover. And it was just excruciating, but I did it because I wanted to have this life of freedom that everyone was talking about. So each book, though, was about 23,000 words. And no, I wasn't writing it from scratch. I had my own little system. I can't get into it right now, but I was putting a good significant amount of work into it every single week. And I want you to remember the 23,000 words, because that's going to come back later in our discussion. So along the way, I got ideas for products, I made affiliate sales, I became better at copywriting every single day. My income grew. I got royalties from the books that I was selling, and that's how I eventually went full time in 2013. I created over 500 information products. I make money in all 4 forms of content: written content, video content, voice content, and graphics content. Graphics now more than ever. Ever since I started paying more attention to graphics in my business, my income just went up and up. And then I went on to create many bestsellers, Amazon bestsellers, and also am a USA Today and Wall Street Journal bestseller, along with 23 other authors. We each contributed a chapter in this book called Write and Grow Rich. And that was a fun project. So with that said, every marketer should be published. And in my opinion, I don't think that being a published author is anything special anymore, because anybody can do it. You could just literally be anyone off the street and publish a book on Amazon, self-publish, and it could take you 10 minutes to get your book up, and now you're a published author. What I do feel that the reason why you should be a published author is because it's just another avenue of distribution that you can get in front of customers, right? So if you want to be on the Amazon marketplace where everybody is and everybody has their credit card embedded in that account and they just click to buy and that's it, right? Why wouldn't you want to be in that marketplace, right? That'd be silly if you weren't. Just like every marketer should have some sort of social presence wherever you do it, right? Or every marketer should have some kind of video presence, whether it's a YouTube or Vimeo, whatever it is, or maybe you're doing social lives, things like that. It's just distribution. That's why it's important. But the problem is that when you think of a book, it's like, oh my God, I don't have time to write a book. That's just crazy. Of course I want to have one, but I don't have the time. And that's why I kind of invented the hybrid book model, which everyone has time for. So if you've never published a book before, but you probably could imagine that it kind of goes like this. You write the book, you then edit the book, then you write the book some more, then you edit the book some more, and it's never quite good enough. It could take you months to years to finish. And then you need a cover design, then you need another cover design, and then you need another cover design, and then you got to post it on Facebook and say, which one do you like, A, B, or C, right? And then when it's all done, you're not actually done, because then you need to market your book, which is why most real authors that write real books fail, because they can't get that part quite down. So the hybrid workbook model is a bit different because it's much simpler. Basically what it is you take one chapter, a concept, a thought, an idea, an exercise, an activity, or maybe like a line of coaching, and you make that into one book, okay? So the hybrid workbook is still a book. It gives you instant credibility as the go-to person in your niche because you're now an author. It takes way less time to publish than a traditional book. Your time to success is cut down tremendously. You can publish a hybrid book literally in an afternoon. I usually like to do it in a week because I don't rush for anything anymore. And it takes 6 months or even more to publish, maybe even a lifetime for some people to publish a quote unquote real book. So these kind of journal / workbooks that I created, kind of like as a side fun project, they didn't take me very long. The first one was the longest. I have 4 in the series. The first one was the longest just because I was, just kind of not starting out, but it was the newest one. And as you can see, The covers are the same concept. They're just different subtitles. And the first one took me like less than 2 hours to create. And I know that because I created it on a flight from New York to Florida at the time. And you're only allowed your laptop out for 2 hours. And this resulted in 11K in 3 months. Not too bad, right? So what kinds of workbooks can you create? I really feel like there's two paths, one of two paths you can go on. The exercise/activity workbook or journal, that's my favorite. And then you have your companion workbook. So the rule of thumb for a workbook or a journal or something like that is that it's got to be transformational. Okay, it's got to help somebody make some kind of transformation. And the beautiful thing about it is that the transformation doesn't have to be like from A to Z. How many times has someone given you one piece of advice in your life and it changed your whole world around? I mean, I'm raising my hand too because it happens to everybody. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't think of that. And then, everything changes, right? So you can take somebody even from A to B or A to F, right? Like an example would be lose a pound a week. If somebody has learned how to lose 1 pound in a week, then they can translate that to, oh, maybe I'll eat a little bit healthier this week. Maybe I'll go to the gym more, right? Or maybe I'll get more sleep. And then things start to progress just because you taught them how to lose 1 pound, right? So that's what we're talking about here. And you can make this as complicated or as simple as you want. And when I say complicated, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that complicated is more time. I like simple. I don't know about you. I like fast. I like simple. I like get it done. I like, making money, right? But either way is fine. So exercises/activities, workbooks/journals, right? They don't contain everything you've ever taught. They're usually not an entire process or system, and they're way easier and faster to create. So that's like my law of attraction journal, which I'm going to be showing you in a minute. The companion workbooks, on the other hand, they usually do contain a large amount of what you teach. And usually a book is written first. And it's mostly part of like a larger process or system or framework. So how many of you have ever read a nonfiction book or listened to the audiobook like I do, because I drive a lot, and you're trying to develop the 7 habits of highly effective people, but you don't take action on them because you're listening to it and the chapters are just passing you by, and then before you know it, the book's done and you put it away on your bookshelf and it never gets opened again, right? That's why workbooks are so effective, because you actually work through, in this case, each habit, and you're like, okay, how am I going to develop this habit? What am I going to put in place in my life? And you actually stop and you do the work. And that is transformation, right? So companion workbooks usually take longer to create with multiple editions as time goes on. And that's cool too. Like I've created books like this and had to change it along the way, because strategies that, and even frameworks that might have worked 3 years ago are just redeveloped, right? They're redefined. Like my friend Carla, who's an expert at Instagram, well, her framework has changed now that, there's reels and stories, and that wasn't the case 3 or 4 years ago, right? You see how that happens. So next, we're going to be talking about the hybrid workbook method. All right. And I want to show you a live demonstration. Of course, you know that this is live because dogs are barking in the background, and my house is being worked on. So there's people coming in all the time. So I do apologize about that. Hopefully you can't hear them. They're really cute, but super annoying when somebody comes in. So let's go ahead and dive into a demo of what this model looks like here. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this up. Look like this. Now, the reason why I'm not opening this up in the full screen is because I want to show you that it is created in PowerPoint. Okay. A lot of people ask me, how do I create a workbook? Well, the rule of thumb is you can create a workbook with any program that produces a PDF document. So some examples that I have here are PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Google Docs, Google Slides, Pages, Mac, even Keynote, Canva, or a third-party software. There's a lot of third-party softwares like Designer and Scribble that allow you to make beautiful custom documents and produce a PDF. Okay, so you can use anything you want, and you can just pick your favorite. As you can see here, this is my cover page. This is my copyright page. Now, I want to show you here that I have, you can see on the left-hand panel, only 2 pages of written content, just 2. This probably took the longest to create because I wanted to only have 2 pages of content and I needed to just fit it all in one screen. Okay, so I have here, usually I have like a welcome message, who I am, why did I create this, kind of the story behind it. And then second thing that I have here is instructions, okay, how to use the book to make your transformation, to get the most out of it. Now, the one thing that I want to point out here is I always lead people to go online. Okay, so you want to have that omnipresence. You want to lead people online to offline to offline to online. And that's what I was talking about before. This is just another way. It's just an extension of your marketing. Okay, so you always want to be in front of your customer somehow. You can even make this some kind of opt-in page if you want. I don't think this one is, but that's just what I chose to do. Okay, and then this is the activity. And this is the activity just filled in. So I make an example with all of my workbooks. This one I happened to just fill in and write in on my iPad, and I took a screenshot and I pasted it in here. Sometimes what I'll do is when I do my demonstrations, I'll do it in like a handwritten text or font format. So it looks like I wrote it in, but it looks much neater. I did it like this because I know their focus wheels were going to look like this. So I wanted to make it relatable. And then this just goes from page 8 to 100 of focus wheel after focus wheel after focus wheel after focus wheel. So that's the activity that I chose to do in this journal. And people like it because they get to have all their focus wheels in one book, as opposed to, just being printed out and having them all over the place, right? So hopefully this doesn't look very hard. This is all I really have to show you when it comes to the demo, because it's not too much that you have to really do. All you need to do is create the workbook or journal, which is some content plus an activity. You have to create the front and back cover, and then you publish it. Does that sound very hard? It's really, really not, okay? And if you do that, you will immediately have all of this that I talked about before. So let's just take this one step further. When you have a PDF, you have a physical book, potentially. And when you have a PDF, you also have a digital book.
okay? We can't forget about digital in this digital world that we live in, okay? So we really want both. But the beauty of this is that we do have it when we're doing this process. That's why I love this. Remember, I love simple. And that's what we're doing here. So you can actually strip down this activity into a one-page document, which what we call a printable. Okay, it's basically, so you're not selling a book anymore, but you're selling just one page where people can download it and then they can print it out, they can make copies, and they could really get unlimited copies of it because they have the ability to print it out. All right, so I could just make a law of attraction printable, focus wheel. And what can you do with these printables? Well, you can sell them. You can give them away to collect email addresses. You can use them as a bonus for other products, or you can just put them in a bonus for your own products. So you can create and make money with simple one-page pieces of content. So what are printables? Well, they're usually one-page documents. They can be in the form of tutorials, guidelines, information, rules, checklists, cheat sheets. They should take less than 30 minutes to create. Some of them take a little bit more, some less, but that's all they are. They're just one sheet. And the beauty of printables is that you can create them and sell them in literally any niche that you want. Like the popular niches are cooking, weight loss, relationships, self-help, personal development, business, managing money, health and fitness. That's huge. That's one of my favorites outside of the internet marketing business. Erotica, dating, parenting, publishing, writing tips. The list is endless what people will buy. And then there's niches within niches in all these categories. And again, with a printable, there's actually two avenues that you can take when you're deciding to create a printable. So first is what I call the expert printable. And then the other one is what I call the non-expert printable. Okay, not too hard to understand or remember, right? The point is that either one you choose, there's lots of income potential, okay? Either one, and you can do a combination of both, which is what I do. So the expert printable, the print is exactly what it says. Printables are created with expertise. So multiple products usually are created under this topic, and you can usually do it under a brand name or business. So like, for instance, video marketing, time management, planning, fitness training, golf instructor, crypto, writing, money management, saving, all these things. So you can be an expert in any of these topics and create printables that you can sell, okay? Either on your own marketplace or other marketplaces that get organic traffic like Etsy. So this is a printable that I created. It was the Entrepreneur's Guide to Surviving Quarantine. And I had a whole training that went along with this printable. So this is just an example URL to show you that that's what you can do. You could lead people to like a video training or whatever it is you want to lead them to get more just beyond that one-page piece of paper, right? So this printable made me $6,000 in just over 3 months, right? Not too bad. Then there's non-expert printables where you don't need to be an expert to create and make money. You just have to know what topics that sell well. And this works best when you actually enjoy the topic. So I create printables in the fitness niche, in the pickleball niche. I also create wall art. It's because I enjoy doing this, okay? Yes, I try to find niches that I enjoy that also create income. That's two things that are usually really good that overlap. But, there's pretty much a market for everyone. So you can create printables in food or recipes, exercise, fitness, any sport, activity, games of all kinds, feelings and journals, rule books, guidelines, think COVID, lesson plans for teachers. That's huge because teachers don't want to be creating lesson plans. They just want to be teaching lesson plans. Puzzles, hot niches like beards and beard oil guides, pet health, gardening, breath, red, teeth, whitening, bad breath. That's a big niche, I think. Security, solar power, and so much more. So here's just an example of a non-expert printable where if you know how to create a Word document, you can create a sign for any business. This just happened to be hot because it was about face masks. Selling for 90 cents, and you see it has 600 reviews. And when you find out that only about 10% of buyers leave reviews, this could have potentially made somebody $6,000 just from a Microsoft Word document, okay? And every time I read this slide, it blows my mind because I want you to remember that pin I told you about and remember that 23,000 words that I talked about. How is that different from creating a one-page piece of paper, throwing a topic up for sale and seeing how it works or what it does potentially can do for you and your business or your life, right? So it's pretty easy when you think of it. So in the recent past, I don't know, like 9 or 10 months, I started to create these, what I call non-expert printables because I'm in the fitness niche. And I just started to create fitness printables because I see that they actually sell. Like this is a marketplace on Etsy. That's where I sell all of my non-expert content because I don't necessarily have an audience for the exercise niche, but I can go easily and publish something, put it up for sale. And because I've named it right and I do all these little things behind the scenes to get visibility, I can get people, I can get traction by doing no marketing at all. And as you can see here, this 30 core exercises, this person has made about 1,700 sales in their marketplace. They sell this for $4.99. And if you look at these images here, they probably didn't create these images. They just packaged it up. So this is like my favorite image place to get images. It's called Deposit Photos. And you can see here that I can buy this plank vector image. I could snip it up, make it into a one-page document and say, here's 9 exercises rather, and, call it something, call it like a core workout or a yoga workout, and I can put it up for sale and make money from it. It's pretty crazy how easy it is to put these products together. And if, like I said, if you enjoy doing the specific niche, then it's even more fun. So I'm going to tell you and share with you 3 facts about this and selling these printables. Millions are being made. Most, if not all, are available for free. And people still buy. It's absolutely crazy, mind-blowing, but all the information that you can get on a topic is available for free, but people still buy this stuff. Like here's an example of a blank monthly calendar where somebody put it up on Etsy. Their shop made 700 sales at $1. If you do a Google search for a blank calendar, it's available for free, but this person is making money just because they took a little bit of time and effort to put up a listing that sells a blank calendar. And even if you go on Canva, which most people might not even know about, you could make your own blank calendar, but people don't want to make their own. They just want to buy it and get it done, and then start to get busy doing whatever it is they want to do with that piece of content. So you can literally start today. All you need to do is pick an interest, create something, and get creative. That's what I love about this too. You can get creative, and you don't have to do video selling and webinars. You can literally just sit quietly in your office and create, and go as big or as little as you want. So for instance, I'm in the pickleball niche, and I helped a friend make these stickers, pickleball stickers. So basically I showed her how to get, a free image off of the public domain, put it on a sticker. She sold 2,000 units her first month at $3.99. I mean, this literally took no work at all. And then we're going a little bit bigger. Maybe there's an area of expertise. Maybe you want to go the workbook way or the short PDF way. My clients, every time they implement something that I teach them about content, their business just grows. One person I have in mind grew her business by 300% just implementing a short PDF in her business. So what I'm going to tell you next might blow your mind, but you don't need a college degree. You don't need guru status. You don't need a website. You don't need paid ads. You don't need special qualities, no design skills, no writing tons of content. You don't even need a following. You just need to follow simple instructions. And I'm thinking that you're still here because you want to stand out from other marketers in your niche and make more of an impact. Or you want to just know where to start and have a step-by-step roadmap to get there faster, to make passive income faster. And you want to know how you can duplicate a process to get the benefits immediately. But most of all, you're still here because you know that you can do this too. I've proven it to you. It's so simple. So the question is don't you want these simple wealth and passive income boosters for your business? And if the answer is yes, which I hope it is, I do want to introduce you to a program that I started. It's called Authority Magnet in 14 days or less. And what I'm going to show you will enable you to create your own workbooks and printables very quickly to start making passive income and gain instant authority in 14 days or less. So this is a 14-day done with you walkthrough to get your completed workbook done and delivered. And it will take you less than an hour per day if you decide to go the workbook route. So in 14 days, it's do it with me for 14 days or less. There's less than 1 hour of work per day. High-level marketing tips along the way are given to you. No boring training that takes forever. I hate that, and I don't do that. There's no filler content. You'll be able to ask questions. You can start when you want, and you can always go back. Why is this going to be so simple for you? Well, number one is I created 250 plus plug and play and profit workbook templates. You can use these templates for your workbooks and for your printables. So there's cover templates, there's worksheet and printable templates, and there's also graphic quotes that you could use to scatter along inside of your material. One of my students, Kathleen, says, wow, there's a ton of value with all these pre-made docs and templates, hours and hours of time saved from starting with these and then customizing. Thank you, Debbie. Great variety, says Kathleen. And then, you know, if you love templates like me, but you also want to maybe change them around a little bit to really fit what you're doing and what you want to do, I'm going to give you access to my team of editors pretty much. So you just reach out to my template maker and my recommended cover designer for help at any time. I always love to customize things. Sometimes I want to do it myself. Sometimes I outsource, and you'll have access to the people who already know how to do this. You'll also have access to the secure membership site. That's where everything is hosted. And it's short, over-the-shoulder training. There's quick to the point, very easy to follow. You know exactly what to do to get it done. And you can also share it with an outsourcer if you have one or several. Also, with my trainings, you could read or listen from anywhere at your own pace and speed up or slow down the videos. I'm a consumer of digital products as well. And this feature is so important to me. I usually listen to like 1.75 is a good speed for me. And I just get stuff done faster. Next is simple and easy to follow notes and checklists. So basically, you know, just notes, overview notes of each training. So when you do have to go back, you know where everything is. I'm also going to show you how to publish your book for maximum distribution. So it's not like we're going to be publishing to Amazon and trying to rank SEO. We don't have to do that with this method, but it's nice to kind of know how to publish your book from Amazon. A lot of the workbooks that I make, I publish on Amazon, but I also use it as a print on demand distribution. So let's say I want to order some books. I just order them right from Amazon and I get really good prices. There's also other places where you can publish short PDFs and people will buy them without you having to do any marketing. So that's why I call this publish to get organic sales and traffic. The thing with marketing, and you'll see this a little bit later too, is that you really need to understand how to title your stuff, what kind of ways to title for that organic traffic, right? If you title your stuff wrong, that can be the difference of one person seeing it versus 1,000 people seeing it. It's so incredibly important to know and understand this stuff that I have in this section here, also with my printable stuff that I'm going to show you. Once you kind of know this, you can apply this to other areas of your business and become an expert and just know how to get visibility better than anyone else. And then, of course, you will be a published author as well, which is super important. So now I have some bonuses that I want to share with you, and my bonuses are real. They're kind of like a breath of fresh air, almost like a vacation scene that you're looking at right now, because they're just to enhance your experience. I don't want to pile up more work for you. I just want to make everything easier for you. So the first bonus I have is called Copy My Workbook. You can make an actual copy of my workbook where you copy it and then you plug your own data in it. This will speed up your workbook to be published fast. I like to start from 70% of the way done. I don't like to start from scratch. And that's what I'm giving you the ability to do. Start 70% of the way done. Bonus number 2 is get your questions answered, specifically around the areas of printing and pricing and process. And there's questions that you might not even know that you have right now, but once you get into it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have this question, and that's going to be addressed inside of the program. Bonus number 3 is create one-page printables for passive income and ongoing traffic. So this is really for folks who want to create those one-page printables. Maybe you're not ready for an expert workbook yet. That's fine. But you want to start somewhere and start the creation process and even start your money-making process of making passive income on sites like Etsy, which I freaking love to get instant traffic. Like I literally sell fitness products on Etsy, and I don't do any marketing because I don't have an audience for that. They just come to me, right? And that's what I want to show you. And I'm tooting my own horn here because once you're in the know about how to set up these listings, you will be set for your marketing life. I promise you. The second I started really focusing on the stuff that I teach in regards to like naming and keywords and titles and stuff like that, and just doing it the right way makes a big difference for your business. Bonus number 4, of course, we have to talk about money, right? So it's good to have all this stuff, but what are some ways that you could make money, more money? So I'm going to show you 10 ways to make money with your workbooks, digital PDFs, and printables. Okay, this is all about monetization. Because a lot of the times these short printable products, sure, they'll get people in the door, but then how do you monetize that even more? The next bonus is called Market and Monetize Your Workbook. And this is where I go over the 5C wealth formula. And this is your pathway to making 6 to 7 figures with simple content. This is a live class that's taught every single month, and you get to ask questions after the content is delivered. Okay, so if you miss a month, that's fine. You can always come to the next month. We'll be live, and you can bring your questions to this session. Bonus number 6 is actually for the first one, only for the first 25 people who get inside, because this is access to me, and the way that you'll have access to me is inside of the members area. You'll be able to ask the questions that you need if you need any personal help. I monitor those questions every single day, and I give out high quality responses for those questions. And sometimes I even make new modules based on the questions that are asked. But I tend to think I have a lot that's already covered inside of the program. So this is the authority formula, and everything that we went over today earlier could be you if you just implement a few of the things that I talked about here. So again, just to recap, the Authority Magnet 14-day done with you. That's what the program is. Plus you're getting the 250 plug and play templates, access to my team, getting published for maximum distribution and organic sales, the short over the shoulder training with notes, and then the bonuses, copy my workbook, get your questions answered, the 6-figure one-page content system, the 10 ways to make more with your workbooks, market and monetize live monthly class, and then the access to me worth over $13,870. So do you have a special exercise, framework, activity, process you bring people through? And can you create a one-page document and put it up for sale? The answer is yes. Then you need to get inside of Authority Magnet. So I could easily charge $19.97, but I am not going to do that today. I really want to give a special deal for this group here. And the normal price is $6.97, but your investment for Authority Magnet today is only $4.97. And The link to go to for that will be debdrum.com/get-authority. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and put that into the chat box so that you can just click on it and not have to type this in your browser. debdrum.com/get-authority. Okay, and there's a couple of things. If someone just wants to click on that link and let me know if that works, the link works, that would be helpful. One thing I want to point out on the checkout page, so what I'm doing for folks who do pay in full, thanks, Alan, is I'm including my Authority Daily workbook. So I'm actually, practicing what I preach inside this model with a physical workbook. So if you do want to pay in full, then don't click the the box that says include the Authority Daily workbook, because you automatically will get that for free if you do pay in full. And then there's another thing I want you to look at on the checkout page. I see all your questions coming in. I'm definitely going to address them. And it says you still got time. So that means that you've got time for the special bonuses that I am going to add for an extra incentive to get into the program. So for a remainder of the time together, which is about 20 minutes or so, I have a few other things that I want to include for you. Then I'm going to answer some frequently asked questions, and then I'm going to answer any questions that you have live. Just really quickly for Billy, what software do you need? It's all free tools like I showed in the demo. You don't need to purchase any additional tools. It's all can be done for free. If you're not a writer, I hope I demonstrated that for these kinds of books or printables, you don't need to be a writer at all. You'll develop writing skills along the way, which is very helpful for marketing in general, but you don't need to be a writer. All right, so what I'm going to do is just go through all the questions that you have here. And play this from my marketing friend, Brian Anderson, and then get to some FAQs and some more questions here live.
What Debbie was doing really made sense to me. And we ended up sitting at the table during some of the conference and having a drink and talking about this. I want you to think about this, and she's going to teach you and really kind of show you the hows and the whys, so to speak. But man, sometimes simplicity is key. And Larry, who said, I think of you as a writer. And Debbie, I kind of like that. I like that comment because it makes sense, yet you don't really have to be a writer. Is that fair?
Oh, yeah, you do not need to be a writer. I'm a content marketer more than a writer.
This is the kind of thing you layer into your business, whether it's your offline, your agency business, whether it's a new revenue stream. It's just easy, right? And I don't know about you, but I am looking for things that do not stress me out, that aren't impossible to do, impossible to fulfill. It doesn't take luck, right? I want to take all that out of the equation. I just need things that simply work. And that's what attracted me to this.
Okay, awesome.
What Debbie was doing.
So here are just some of the samples of workbooks that my students have created. Dave is asking, is there any program on affiliate marketing? David, absolutely. With affiliate marketing, I do a lot of affiliate marketing. You want to be seen as the authority. One of the projects that I've gotten involved in, I sell a physical product. It's called the Beamer, and it's like for blood flow. It uses like magnetic waves
because I'm an athlete, I purchased it and I have a lot of like aches and pains and stuff. And I make 700, almost $800 every time I sell one of those devices. And I'm in the process of making a physical workbook about the Beamer, right? So that's one way an affiliate marketer can utilize this type of strategy in gaining authority, but also selling whatever it is that you sell behind the scenes. If you watch the demo that I did today, your links inside your book or your links inside your printable can lead people to other things that you're doing. Okay. So this is how to get started. debdrum.com/get authority. I see Alan already signed up. That's excellent. Thank you so much. So not only can you get new clients, charge higher prices, and collect passive income, and of course, be unforgettable and get your emails open and become bingeable. Or perhaps you just want to make passive income with one-page documents, printables, and short reports. I have 2 time-sensitive fast action bonuses that I want to also include here. Again, not adding anything extra for you to do, just an incentive in case. I know that some people said, well, I don't have anything that I'm doing quite just yet, right? Some people said that here on the call, and that's why I include my commercial rights bonus, where you can use my templates and system to make money and create wealth for your clients. So if you charge, and if you do any service work, you might want to explain to your client, your influencer, whoever it is, that the benefits of having a workbook, just like I did today, right? However, your job is not going to be as hard as mine was because I put together this whole presentation and everything. So I'm going to show you how to get clients, how to charge anywhere from $500 to $10,000 for this service. Okay. Because you have to remember, some people, they want this, but they don't want to create it themselves. And what we need to do is we need to up the perceived value of having a workbook, right? I'm going to show you who to look for to pay top dollar, what to say, and I'm even going to give you a secret weapon to use so that you have to do absolutely no selling to make this amazing income. So your job is not going to be hard talking people into this, because you'll send them to what I created for you. And then anything that your customer has, they'll just be asking you buying questions, which is very nice. The great part about the world we live in today, although it's a tough one, but there are transformational coaches all over the place now more than ever, because we live in a world where people are just discovering new outlets to make income, working from home, working from anywhere in the world. I don't want to go to a brick and mortar place anymore. So there's tons of people who need these kinds of services right now. And then the second fast action bonus is, once you have your physical book in your hand, so like me, and I actually have, it's kind of blurry, I'm not sure why, or maybe it looks blurry to me, but I use my Authority Daily workbook. Okay. I use it every day. And once you have your workbook, not mine, but the one that you created, in your hand to take a picture like this, I want to interview you and give you a 30-minute consultation. And I'm going to share that interview with my audience as well. So that'll be really fun. That'll give you some, publicity there, and it'll be really exciting for everyone. So the fast action bonus is order within the next 48 hours, you'll get commercial rights,
and your interview plus the 30-minute consultation. I always tell people the opportunity will be around forever, but don't wait too long because the fast action bonuses disappear. And then the price eventually does jump back to $697, which people pay all the time for. So I wanted to give you a deal. If you just go to that link, debdrum.com/getauthority. So some common questions I have: do I get lifetime access? Yes, you can go through at your own pace. What happens next? You get immediate access to Authority Magnet and all the templates and bonuses that come along with it. Who should invest? Authors, speakers, mentors, trainers, coaches, consultants, product developers, course creators, experts and influencers, bloggers, virtual assistants, and service providers. And because it works for all levels, because I really wanted to develop something that went from, complete newbie, I've never done anything, to high level. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a product creator, all this stuff already. Is there a guarantee? If you follow my instructions and you still can't complete the workbook, then I will give you a full refund. Can I get started right away? Yes, of course. What if I need help? Remember that extra bonus where you get access to me, or you can ask questions inside the members area, and the questions are monitored by me every single day, and I give high quality responses. What do others say about me? I'm not going to read this whole screen, but lots of people say that I'm easy to follow, easy to understand. And that's actually my goal when teaching someone how to do something. I don't want to make it complicated. I want to make it very easy. What are you not telling me due to time constraint? So this is my flagship product. So anytime I have something cool, I add it to the program, or enhancements or updates. So I have things like an interview with an expert on the free plus shipping model, how to make your book stand out, making clickable links inside of your book. Yes, it's possible. Yes, I show you how to do it. If you want to do printables, I show you a guaranteed case study to guarantee success with printables. It's very hard to guarantee anything in this business, but it's really hard not to make money, especially if you start out with the printables. Print on demand updates. So this is like $1,000 extra value. Do I need everything in this program to succeed? No. Even if you do one or two minor things in here, you will soar to new levels. Can I wait to purchase? Yes, but the price will go up. Can you repeat everything inside of Authority Magnet? Of course. So I'm going to just leave this on the screen right here while we go through your questions live. If you have any burning questions that you want to ask, I know that there's two places for questions here. Okay, I don't see any updated questions in the Q&A section. So if you want to write your questions or type your questions in the chat box right now, just so that we have it here. If you have any burning questions, saying, Alan says, I have a book already, which I guess I can use to start. Sure, yeah. Or you can create more things, or you could just start the process in creating a hybrid workbook if you want. Absolutely, whatever your goals are. People always ask me, well, how much am I going to make? Or what should I do first, right? That all depends on the goals that you have for your business. So for example, my goal for this workbook, the Authority Daily, was to have something that I included physical in my online course. That was my goal. My goal is not to go and publish this on Amazon to make passive income sales with my Authority Magnet workbook. It just wouldn't work, right? Nobody's going online and searching for Authority Magnet. It's something that I made up, right? There are other strategies behind making passive sales on Amazon with books, but depending on what your goal is, that depends on the strategy, right? So, so it all starts from what do you want? What outcome do you want? And then you have to kind of reverse engineer that. Hugh says, where would I make market workbook or printables? Okay, so again, that goes back to what's your goal. Okay, so for instance, with printables, if you don't have an audience yet, you could make a printable and publish that to Etsy, because Etsy has organic traffic. So like I said in my presentation, I am also in the fitness niche. Now, do I have any business being in the fitness niche? One might argue yes or no, but I just did some research on what kind of printables would sell. I titled it properly and people find it and they buy it, right? And that's what I show you inside the course. That's in bonus 3, the 6-figure one-page content. Now, am I making 6 figures from printables that I charge $1.99 for? No, but it's a starting point. And I explained to you in the beginning of my journey is that when I first started publishing books and I was making these small sales, that's what started my business, right? You have to start from somewhere. Where are you going to start? And you don't have to publish full books to make income, as I showed you today. You can just publish these short printables that don't take as long as what I was doing back in the day when I was publishing 23,000 word books. It's much easier today, is my point, right? Do we have a monthly fee or charges online? With any business, you're always going to have something that probably costs you money, expenses that help you run your business. As I mentioned, like let's say you were to do a printable, you can do that yourself absolutely free. That's just your time. I think it costs 20 cents to upload something on Etsy to sell, right? If you wanted to outsource and get help with your printable, then there's some expenses there, right? If you're making a workbook, absolutely free to make a workbook, because I show you how to do it with free tools. You can use Google Docs. You can use Google Slides. That's absolutely free to use. If you wanted to use a paid tool, then sometimes you have additional costs there. So again, I'm not going to say, oh, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. It's not how it's going to be. But normally when you do run a business, you'll have some expenses that you incur. Okay. Any other questions? or feedback or comments that you want to share, or perhaps there's something that you're hesitant about, you can share that in the questions box there. Yeah, I mean, and this goes for what Alan's saying. I'm thinking that I have a conclusion for my book, 20 Key Factors. One thing that I've really learned the hard way in my business is sometimes I created something because I felt like the marketplace needed it. But now, you know, in learning about my niche and kind of learning the sense of online and what people buy and what they don't buy, things like that, I go with what the market tells me to do. So sometimes I would create products and I'd create it because I thought it was good, but you have to really, before you start anything, before you start any project, you want to see if there's demand for it already. Are people willing to pay for what you're bringing to the table, right? And 20 key factors, that's great, Alan, but what about one key factor or 5 key factors? Start small, right? Don't think that, because once you start adding 20, 100, all this stuff, it could start taking longer to create and getting products out the door. All right. So that's why I have this 14-day system, because could you do it in less than 14 days? Yes, absolutely. But again, especially if it's your first time, or if you want to start slow, or if you want to do everything right and systematic, then you can break it down. Okay. Billy says, as I'm not into any business due to my disability, can you use your system to promote other people's business? Yes, you can. It just kind of has to work out for you monetarily, right? Depending on what you're promoting. For instance, like if I were to do a workbook around a product that I was promoting, the product would have to be, you know, I would be making no less than $500 commission, right? Because otherwise it wouldn't be worth it to me, right? So also with the bonus that I'm giving is you can create workbooks for other people. So you get paid regardless, right? So it's like kind of like workbooks as a service. So somebody who is maybe like a personal coach or a fitness coach or a health coach or any type of niche coach, if they want a workbook, you can use my system, learn it, and use my templates to create that workbook for them. Okay. So I always liked doing service work, especially when I was starting out, to supplement my income, because sure, it's your time, but you also don't want to make it a very complicated service either, so that you have a balance between what you're doing, what you're providing, and the money that you're making. So if I were to make a workbook for somebody else, I wouldn't do it for less than $1,000. Sure, maybe if it's your first one, you do it for 500. Don't do it less than 500, because the perceived value of having a physical book that you can distribute to clients and customers. And let's say, so I forget who it was. Let me look real quick. Somebody said that they were in property management, right? So if one of your clients was deciding on who to use, and let's say you had a workbook, whatever it is, like, oh, the biggest problems you should look for in a property, a checklist or something like that, right? You, even if it's a one, you don't even have to make a book. You can just hand out a one sheet paper. You're creating extra value for whoever it is that you're trying to work for. And they're going to remember you as opposed to somebody else who didn't go that extra mile. Okay. And that's what we're trying to create here, is that being memorable, standing out. Oh, that person provided me with this, this, and this. I'm going to go to them the next time I have a question, or I'm going to go to them the next time I need this type of service, right? That's what we're trying to create here. And, you know, one more thing that I'll leave off on, because we are, you know, ending our time here together, is that, and let me just pop in the link again for you, just so you know where to go to get it. Okay, doesn't want to paste. drum.com/get authority. Oh, I'm sorry, I pasted up. I pasted a video in here. I did not mean to do that. Sorry about that. And there's no way for me to get rid of it. I copied and pasted something, and good thing it's not any kind of crazy video. It's just me playing pickleball. If you want to look at that video, you could, but that's not what I wanted to share. I wanted to share this link, but that's a video of me playing pickleball in my yesterday, my practice video. Wow, that's weird. Okay. But one thing I do want to kind of end off on is that you can't, the stuff that I talk about here today is something you cannot get around if you want to market anything online. If you want to market a service, if you want to market an affiliate offer, if you want to market a product, if you want to, you know, lead people to any type of destination, you're going to need some type of content to do that. So the stuff that I teach inside of my program encompasses this model. Okay. This is the stuff that I've been doing for the last 12 years. And these are the things that catapult you to the next level. If, let's say you're not at any level right now, right? But you want to do the next level. You have to take some action to create something that creates momentum and puts you in a light that shows people that you're the go-to person. Okay. And a lot of the times we can use things that are online to help us do that quicker. For my writing friends and people who don't want to go on video, this stuff is great. If you want to go on video, you can go to the next level and create authority much quicker with video, but some people are not ready for that. But I've been doing that for years now. And in the beginning, I was terrible at video. My first video that was 7 minutes probably took me 7 hours to create. And at the end of it, it wasn't even that good. Okay, so it's just putting one foot in front of the other and implementing. Hazel says, can you do a workbook or one-page PDF as a review on affiliate products you're promoting? Absolutely. And one thing that you can do, Hazel, you can take that a step further. And one of the reasons why I do very well with affiliate marketing and why I show up on leaderboards and things like that is because you can create extra value on top of the promotions that you're already doing. So if you say, hey, I got this checklist because the program that I'm promoting is great, but it lacks like a step-by-step process that will outline all the steps for you. So what I've done is I created a checklist, and I already have templates in my system that allows you to just go in there and edit it and make your own printable. You could probably have it done in the next hour, Hazel, and say something like, you'll get this as a bonus if you purchase through my link. Okay. The amount of sales that I get just by doing things like that, that not only gives me the light of authority, but it also adds value to my customer. So I know that we're kind of going over time, and we had an awesome session. I think I want to thank you so much for all your questions and comments and interactions. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing all of that. It was really, really great. So yes, and it's probably really early there, isn't it? Is it early where you are?
It's very early. Yeah.
We've got you up early this morning. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So
normally I'm up early, but normally I don't talk like before 8 o'clock.
Oh dear. So you're gonna have to be quiet now for the rest of the morning, aren't you?
Yes.
I know. Early night. So, but anyway, we appreciate you dropping in, and thank you for all that. I'm really pleased that you're able to make it. So take care of yourself.
Thank you.
And yeah, everyone sign up for Debbie's course. All the links are there. So that's really cool. So thank you, Debbie.
Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of Saturday School. So I hope you all have a really wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you take action. Like I was saying, you've got to take some action to get to the next step, and nothing, if you don't take any action, you've wasted a morning probably. So you definitely have. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for staying to the end. Special bonus points for staying to the end. And yeah, take care, everyone, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.